Covert narcissism, like, it's a term that carries a heavy weight, doesn't it? If you've encountered it in your life, you've likely felt confusion, self-doubt, and maybe even despair at points. But today I want to take a step back, not just to dissect the behavior, but to also uncover its deeper meaning, its spiritual implications, and more importantly, how you can transcend it. Because every hardship, even one as insidious as this covert narcissism, carries within it the seeds of this self-realization. So to understand this covert narcissism, let's first strip it down, okay? So at its core, it's a form of narcissism marked by subtle manipulation, passive aggression, and this overwhelming need for control. And it's masked by humility or victimhood here. So unlike overt narcissists who shout their superiority, these covert narcissists whisper their inadequacies and they project them onto you. So they may minimize your efforts. They might undermine your confidence and create an atmosphere where you constantly question, am I enough? Am I doing enough? Or, excuse me, am I enough here? But the thing is, this covert narcissism isn't just about their behavior, it's about the dynamic they pull you into. And that's where the spiritual lens can come in here. So in every challenge, the universe asks one question for us, and that is, who are you really? So the covert narcissist, intentionally or not, becomes a mirror. Their actions force you to confront your own shadows, your fears, your insecurities, your boundaries, or lack of boundaries. And it's easy to see them as the villain in your story, but what if they're actually a profound spiritual teacher? Not intentionally, and not because their behavior is justified. It isn't, but because they awaken within you the need for clarity, autonomy, and self-love. So once again, this does not excuse any of their behaviors at all. So from a Vedic perspective, this is a moment of viveka. Viveka is discernment. So the covert narcissist chaos calls you to discern between the false self you've built to survive their manipulations and the true self that yearns for this freedom. So let's name the patterns here, because naming them takes their power away. So there's minimization. They downplay your achievements, saying things like, you're lucky you had the luxury to do that, right? Making your hard work feel insignificant. Or there's emotional manipulation. They oscillate between this intense love, affection, sexuality, sensuality, and withholding it, keeping you tethered to their approval. Then there's self-deprecation. They present as fragile, saying things like, I'm just not good enough. Nobody here loves me. And it draws you into the role of the comforter. So there's this control through unpredictability as well. They shift between warmth and coldness, and this leaves you off balance. And these patterns are like waves, crashing against the shores of your spirit, eroding your sense of self, if you let them, right? But here's the truth. You don't have to let them. Freedom begins with awareness, right? Spirituality offers tools to step out of the fog. There's meditation. So in stillness, you reconnect with your essence. You realize their projections are just that, theirs, not yours. There's pranayama, which is breath work. So breath anchors you into the present, where their manipulations lose their grip completely. There's mantras, or simple affirmations like, I am whole, I am free. And it shifts your inner dialogue from one of doubt to one of empowerment. Then there is what we call dinacharya. So dinacharya is a daily routine. This is structure and self-care, and it grounds you and it fortifies your mind and your body against their emotional chaos. So these practices don't just protect you, they transform you. They allow you to see the covert narcissist for what they are: a wounded soul trying to steal light because they've lost or forgotten about their own. And in that recognition, you gain the power to respond with compassion, but also with strength and boundaries. So, one of the covert narcissist's greatest tools is making you question yourself. But autonomy begins when you stop seeking their validation. So, say this to yourself, okay? I am not responsible for their emotions. I am not obligated to fix them. I am worthy of love and respect regardless of their approval. And these are really simple truths, yet they're really profound, right? And living them requires courage. You might need to establish boundaries or seek support or even walk away, but remember, every act of self-preservation is an act of self-love. And self-love is the most powerful spiritual practice that we have. So, as I bring this to a close here, I want to leave you with a question. What is this experience calling you to awaken within yourself? Perhaps it's your voice, which has long been silenced by their criticism. Perhaps it's your boundaries weakened by their manipulation, or perhaps it's the recognition that your worth has never and will never depend on another's approval. It's like covert narcissism is a storm, like no doubt, right? But every storm ends, and when it does, you'll find yourself standing stronger, clearer, and more radiant than you ever have. Because in the end, their darkness cannot extinguish your light. And your journey through this isn't just about surviving them, it's about discovering you. And thank you for walking this path with me. And if this resonated, share your thoughts, share your story. Let's support one another as we rise into the fullness of who we are. Until next time, stay grounded, stay radiant, and stay free.